Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll show you how to simplify A+ content creation for Amazon and other retailers. My name is René, Head of Business Development at iSCAD, and I'm joined by my colleagues Alexander or Sasha, our Chief Innovation Officer, and Lucas as our moderator. In this session, we'll show you how iSCAD Studio helps you create A+ content, what we call iSCAD product stories, and how you can easily translate and distribute that content across multiple platforms. Here's what we will cover today. How to create A+ content or iSCAD product stories once and reuse it across multiple platforms. How to instantly translate embedded image text using AI. How to reduce manual work, and how to scale across markets and languages. Sasha will give you a live demo in a few minutes, but first, let's look at the challenges many content teams face today. Quick note before we start, you'll see a chat tab in the bottom. Feel free to submit your questions at any time. Lucas is also on the call. He'll collect your questions and guide the Q&A at the end. Yes?
Apparently we have some issues with sound, so let's see what's happening.
Maybe better
Sound
now?
is good. It's good,
Yeah?
Lucas. Everything is fine. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Okay, let's continue. Everything is good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's go to the challenges then. Creating and managing rich product content today is still far from more complex than it should be. From design to production is fragmented. So even when teams create high quality visuals in tools like Figma or Adobe, turning them into scalable, retail-ready content remain a challenge. Content is duplicated across retailers. In practice, the same content is often reused across all retail partners, simply because there is no time or resources to customize it. Translating embedded image text is time-consuming. Updating visuals for multiple languages means going back into design files, translating manually, and exporting new versions again and again. Manual uploads take valuable time. Uploading content into platforms like Amazon Vendor Central requires repeating the same steps for every product in every market. And scaling across countries is complex. Each market requires its own translations, formats, and sometimes even different content, which slows down your time to market. That's exactly why we developed iSCAD Studio, to help teams work smarter, faster, and at scale. iSCAD Studio brings everything together in one platform. Here you create and manage your A+ content, your product iSCAD stories, and distribute them across multiple channels. You can create, manage, translate, and publish content all in one place. No more switching between tools or repeating the same work. So how does this actually work? Let's take a look. Sasha, over to you.
Thanks, René. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, so in addition to what René has already mentioned, I like to share a bit more about our vision and how we approach content production challenges. At iSCAD, we designed Studio with a very simple goal in mind, to help brands build high-quality A+ content with significantly less efforts compared to traditional workflows. And actually, over the past 5 years, we've worked with a wide range of major players, and we've seen how content production pipelines actually work in reality. And honestly, in most companies, they look very similar. Multiple teams, multiple tools, a lot of file and data exchange, and let's be fair, a lot of redundant and repetitive work. And at some point, we actually asked ourselves a very straightforward question: what can we simplify, and what can we automate without breaking quality? From that, our strategy evolved into a few key pillars. So the first one is, of course, centralization. So we bring all tools and processes in one place, reducing the need for constant data exchange between departments. Designers, copywriters, editors, stakeholders, QA, instead of working across disconnected environments, they can now operate within one collaborative environment, also in collaboration with our internal iSCED team of editors. Second is simplification of tooling. In traditional setup, you need specialists for everything. Again, HTML, designing, copywriting, translations. And on top of that, each role depends on its own tools like Figma or Adobe for design, HTML or CMS for environment, HTML or CMS environments for layouts, and separate tools for PIMs for content creation, which actually means more complexity, more dependencies, and slower execution. And we challenge that model. What if one person supported by the right tools can handle most of these tasks without loss in quality? The third one is automation. Repetitive tasks should not consume human time. So basically, if something can be automated, it should be automated. And the fourth is AI, but used properly. So not AI for sake of being an AI company. We apply AI where it brings a real value. For example, in translations, in content alternative generation, alt text creation for European Accessibility Act, and background image generation. And only in cases where we either fully control the accuracy or where small deviations are acceptable. And finally, output, flexibility, and quality. Content creation is just the beginning. What comes next also matters. So even rich content needs to be properly structured. The framework should allow full design freedom on the front end, while staying clean and consistent at the back end. That's where solid standardization pays off because it makes syndication flexible. In practice, it's very simple. Content is created once in studio by the brand, and then each channel partner can consume it in the format that fits their setup and complies with technical requirements or limitations. So basically, if you want something quick and light, you can inject the content via live syndication. If you prefer full control, you can use zip packages with all HTML, JS, and multimedia inside of it and host it on your site. If you need deeper integration, we provide XML and JSON alternative format. For controlled environments, exclusive setups are possible, and if you are the brand who already have HTML designed from, for example, agency, we can refactor it and distribute it as well for you. On top of that, we offer direct connectors to key market players like Amazon. All of these outputs are generated automatically because everything is built on a well-structured framework. And that's actually the core of iSCED Studio. Now, before we jump into a quick demo, let me first walk you through a few examples of rich content in action. So this is an example of rich content page that we built in iSCED Studio. So it includes everything like image and text modules, videos, interactive elements. We call these modules bricks. You can combine them to build your own templates with various layouts. In this Lego example, we also include a user-generated content module, as well as the product family widget, allowing users to explore and switch between different variants within the Formula One assortment. And this is how the product story looks like inside the story builder. On the left side, you'll find the modules. You can simply drag and drop them into the workspace and start editing the content. Now, this is an example of A+ premium content that can be created in iSCED Studio and then syndicated to Amazon. We support all required modules and ensure full compliance with their guidelines. So we consider the layout requirements, the text limitations, and even the list of restricted words that are not allowed to be used for Amazon syndication. At the same time, if you already have the content published on Amazon, you don't need to rebuild it in the studio because we also provide an Amazon extractor. Let me just open the page and show you how it's working. So this is the same product story that is published at Amazon, and let's just with the click of few buttons import it to Amazon. So I'm just clicking add, select Amazon Premium, and click add. So with just a few clicks, you can extract the content, update it, and then resyndicate it not only back to Amazon, but also to iSCAD channel partners. So normally it takes maybe up to 30 seconds. So let's wait a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, now I have the same product story. I can edit it, modify it, then resyndicate it to Amazon, but yeah, also to the rest of the channel partners. Now let's switch to the preview mode. So here, our users can download any asset in its original format simply by clicking on the element. This mode helps team quickly to transfer content into Amazon tooling or other environments where manual input is still required, but with minimal efforts. A quick insight is that Amazon A+ Premium does not currently offer an endpoint for automated import. So preview mode helps speed things up, and at the same time, this is about to change. Amazon is expected to launch an API in the middle of this year, and our technical team is already preparing a connector. So the moment it's live on Amazon, we are going to supply that connector as well in a very short period of time. And this will significantly speed up the publication process and reduce manual steps even further. At the same time, for standard A+ content, we already support full automation. So content can be structured, reused, scaled, and pushed automatically. All right, now let's deep dive into some of the Story Builder highlights. So for this demo, I selected a product with relatively limited information on official source. So let me show you an official source. This is Transformers Optimus Prime. So we only have several images in the gallery and the product description. This is how it looks like at Intertoys, one of our channel partners. So the information is also very limited here, just because supplier or manufacturer doesn't provide a lot of information. Now, let me show you what we created. To keep things efficient, I have already prepared some of the content in advance. I'll just create a few modules to show you how they were built. So we already have here a carousel and benefits section with hotspots. It took us maybe up to 20-30 minutes to compose and generate these modules, also with the help of using AI-generated backgrounds. But let's focus on this banner. So one key element is still not finished in the headline banner. Let's improve it with some additional content. So for that purpose, I will enter our Sandbox editor. So this is our built-in image editing environment. Let me give you a little bit of the background. The idea actually comes from the real workflows. When working with Amazon, we've noticed that brands often run into strict text limitations. So instead of relying only on predefined layouts limited to Amazon, they embed messaging directly into images, like headlines, slogans, maybe style text. This basically gives much more control over design and messaging. With that in mind, we embedded this entire workflow directly in Studio. Here you can design image banners and apply them directly to modules across the story. If your team works with Figma, maybe Illustrator or Photoshop, this will feel familiar, but narrow down only to core functionalities, which designer or production teams are mainly using to create those banners. So now everything happens in one place, fully controlled and connected to your workflow. All right, let's import the main image here, right? So I just click this button and basically will add the transformer. I will resize it. Let's say we'll use the width, like this. So I put it in front, and apparently I also want to add a family logo here at the bottom. So I can do it as well. Oh. Second, I have this toolbar. Yeah, also we'll resize it. Let's say we'll make it 300. And I click save. So now this entire banner is converted into JPEG image and ready to be sourced to Amazon. So at this point, the story is looking way much better, but it feels a little bit limited. So let's expand it. Let's imagine we've received a Figma design project for the Transformer movie with some general marketing materials around the characters and the storyline. So for this demo, we have already created that content and prepared that in Figma. And let's imagine that I want to import several banners from Figma to Studio environment. So basically what I need to do, I need just to select the banner, pick up the SVG format and click export. And same for the second module. So both modules are saved. And now I will just use the regular premium banner. Again, I will go to Sandbox environment and I will click import from the file. From here, I will go to downloads and will pick up this module. Here I can pick up the layers that I want to import. So I will pick up everything and just click import. Okay, now I click save. Okay, need to rework a little bit the positioning of the text. Move it like this. Yeah, now it works. And same for the second one.
It's actually pretty amazing. It's a full Figma integration, Sasha. What I'm seeing here, is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Lucas. All right. So now I will just do a quick preview to understand if I'm fully satisfied with the product story. Yeah, these things look way much better. And let's just take a step further. So we also have possibility to generate the backgrounds. So looking at the result, let's say I'm not fully happy with the background. Maybe I want to change the planet, adjust the galaxy, or generate a completely new background that enhances the visual. Instead of doing that manually, let's just use AI. So I will not start generating these images during this webinar, because sometimes for AI that takes a little bit of time, maybe a minute or two. But yeah, I will show you the functionality that we already have, because we keep actually the conversation. And this image was generated by me just before the demo. So this is how our AI background image assistant looks like. So the assistant keeps the context, and you can iteratively refine results. So for example, I generated a new image with just a universe. Then I decided to place a planet on the left. Then I decided to include some spaceships. Then I removed them. Then I changed the planet. Then I injected the planet Earth, the moon, the sun, etc. But every generated background I can instantly apply on the image and see how it will look like with different setups. And then I just pick up the one I like and apply the change. So let's say we want this one. We click save, and yeah, the banner is being converted into, again, required format for further content distribution. Now I see that the result perfectly fits my expectation. Now let's explore how we can quickly localize this content, because now it's in English, but we want this content to be published in Intertoys, and I need to translate the entire product story into Dutch language. So Studio also includes AI-assisted tools that can translate text or generate alternative copy as you work. And if text is embedded inside the visual that you have created in our sandbox environment, it will also detect all the messaging and will translate it automatically as well, and will generate required images in the localized language. Now, let's translate this story into Dutch and publish it. So what I will do, I will go back to the asset details page and simply click copy this story. Now I will define the Dutch language. Here I will need to define the MPN, but I know exactly what MPN is being used by Intertoys, so I will just fill it in. And then I will ask AI Assistant to generate us module with context accuracy, and also I want to generate alt text for module images, because that's a mandatory thing due to European Accessibility Act. So let's make a copy. Okay, so I initiated the process to translate the text in images. Normally it takes up to 30 to 40 seconds. But while the content is being copied and translated, let me briefly explain you how the asset detailed page is working, and what we have here. So on this page, you basically can track details of every product story variant, including its status, ownership, matching, publication information, history log, etc. This is especially useful when multiple teams collaborate. So you can actually assign multiple MPNs and the scenes to one product story. This is a perfect match for the rich content or A+ content that is being shared across multiple MPNs, like generic story or generic content for all the configurations of laptops, or if that's a toy for characters. So below you can see the publication statuses across different networks. So you can actually see if the product story is approved, published, or it's in the production stage. And the publication is quite simple, because what you need to do, you just click approved, and the product story will be published. Now let's go back to our product story. Okay, so it's in progress. So everything is finished. So yeah, now we see that the text is fully translated into Dutch, but we see that in Dutch language, the amount of symbols has been increased. So in order to adjust a little bit the positioning of the marketing text, I can do it within just a few seconds. So just revisiting each and every module and simply adjusting the positioning of the text. So same I can do with other modules. And we also see that the alternative text is being generated for each and every visual. So it will be embedded in the HTML code and published to the channel partner web pages. Okay, click Save. And probably, yeah, the third one also needs to be a little bit adjusted. Okay, now let's check the final preview mode. If we are fine with the story, I think we are. So let's publish this product story right away. Okay, so I initiated the publication. Normally it takes, again, up to 1 minute or maybe even less to publish the product story. So we send it to all our environments and publish it to all our networks based on our backup logic. In this case, since we only have Amazon Premium variant, we will also publish it to iSCAD network as default fallback logic. But at the same time, you can create an exclusive variant for iSCAD network, and then the Amazon Premium will be published to Amazon, and the regular one will be published to iSCAD network. Let's check the preview. This is our internal preview. Okay, so yes, the story is published here. Now let's refresh the page. Yeah, and we see that the product story that we have just created is now available at Intertoys. It's online. Well, basically with that, that covers everything that I wanted to share. I really hope this demo gave you a clear picture of how iSCAD Studio can help your teams build, scale, and manage rich content more efficiently. Thanks for your attention. René, back to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sasha. Yeah, really great to see how everything comes together in practice. Yeah, I think this is clearly shows how powerful and easy to use iSCAD Studio is for creating scalable A+ content for Amazon and other retailers. Yeah, let's quickly recap what we have seen today. Yeah, one platform to create and manage your A+ content, or iSCAD product stories. Faster translations, including embedded image text. Yeah, less manual work through automation with AI, such as the backgrounds. And direct publishing to Amazon and other platforms. So yeah, thank you all for joining today. Before we go to the Q&A, we have a small gift. You get free access to the iSCAD Studio Freemium plan. So that includes 10 product stories, so you can try it yourself. So pick your mobile phone and scan the QR code. Please register, and yeah, we're happy to book a demo with you. So we can explain you more in detail how you quickly can create those 10 product stories and can make use of the iSCAD Studio and can try it out. And of course, we also send this recording afterwards. Yeah, and with that, I'd like to hand it over to Lucas, who has been collecting your questions. Lucas, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much. So we're in the Q&A now. I have a question. I think this is one for René. We have premium access to iSCAD. Do we have to pay for iSCAD Studio? And if so, how much does it cost?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know exactly what premium is, and if the question is from a brand or from a retailer. But the best thing what the contact can do is that he reach out to his account manager and can explain exactly what the cost will be, and also can understand more about the needs of this visitor.
Okay, I have one other question. I already have a lot of content on Amazon. Do I need to rebuild that all then in Uitskate Studio, or can I reuse it?
Yeah, so I think Sasha also explained that during the webinar. We have an Amazon extractor or kind of a scraper. So if you have already a lot of A+ content on Amazon, but you also want to make it available on your retailer pages, of let's say retailer page, on your other, let's say, channel partners, then you can easily scrape those pages from in Uitskate Studio and syndicate it to other parties.
Yeah, on top of that, this activity can be handled by our production team. So actually, we can quickly transfer that content to our catalog. On top of that, not only for Amazon, but also for if you have a well-structured feed, then it's also possible. We can analyze that feed and build an auto import and syndicate rich content on a daily basis for you. For that, we just need access to all the content materials that brand may have. We can analyze that and come up with automated ways how to create either ready to publish content or drafts that will speed up the process of editors who will approve or just QA the product before going live. Also possible.
Yeah, indeed. So, but in the freemium or as the free trial that we just offered, the scraper is included. So happy to guide you there how you can scrape those pages and syndicate them to your other retailers.
Yeah, I had one more question here. We are using Photoshop. Does that work as well, or?
For Photoshop, well, right now we support SVG format, and we are on the final stage of creating the import from PSD files as well. But what we see right now is that a lot of teams are switching to Figma instead of Photoshop. So our primary goal, of course, is to write a different auto import solution with Figma. But for Photoshop, we also will have a solution in a very short period of time.
And here is not a question, but it's, I think, more a comment. It's great to see that you actually have a live demo, so, and that you see it then showing up. And I think that concludes all the questions in the chat so far. Let's see if I get any other questions.
Yeah, I have maybe also another comment. I saw also that some retailers have subscribed for this webinar, and I know we really focus more on the brand side today, but retailers can also make use of Uitskate Studio to create, let's say, product stories for their hero products online. So that's also possible. So if retailer says, "Hey, I want to create also product stories for some let's say my high selling items," that's also possible. So happy to look into that as well, if that.
And with it, I think this concludes the Q&A part. And on behalf of the audience, I would like to thank René and Sasha very much in this outstanding demo. And it's great to see it live in action.
Perfect. Thank you all for the attention. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
And now, hold on.